Hey, it's Tracy St. George from 97.9 WRMF.
And Joyce Kaufman from 850 WFTL.
And this is Jeff, and he is going to show us how to do CPR because it is Learn CPR Week, right?
Yes,
okay.
It is.
So I've got this little baby. We've got Resuscitation Annie down here.
Me too.
And we've got some little fake heads. Now, is this what you do when you go out and teach people how to do CPR?
Yes, this is the mannequins that we are using now.
Okay.
Yep.
How often do you go out to teach CPR?
It varies, but a lot. There's, from the 55 and older communities to businesses to Girl Scouts to Cub Scouts to anybody that calls, we'll go out.
That's awesome. And what does CPR stand for? Joyce, do you know?
Cardiac pulmonary resuscitation.
Good enough. Perfect.
She wins.
Perfect.
She also actually helped somebody live. She did CPR about 20 years ago. We're hoping he's still alive today. Yeah. All right, so let's do it. Jeff, what is the first thing that we're going to do?
First thing, we will start with the adult, and then we'll get into the baby because there's a little bit of a difference.
Should we grab our people and
Absolutely.
Are we going to watch you?
You can grab them and go with me if you'd like.
This guy's name is Tim. We're going to try to revive Tim today.
And this would be Leroy.
Tim and Leroy!
All right, so the first thing, to keep it real basic, you got 3 age groups. You got birth to 1, you got 1 to puberty, and you got puberty on. So you got infant, child, and adult.
Okay.
With any emergency situation, the first thing you want to do is tap the person, see if you get any signs of life.
Nope.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
No.
No signs of life.
Not looking good.
Well,
Not
Beth is
looking
here
good.
from Sunny 107.9. Let's bring Beth over.
Come on in,
Beth,
Beth.
come on in.
Go ahead and
grab
grab a
yourself
man.
a man or a woman. Please name him or her. Beth is with Sunny 107.9.
Very nice.
Okay.
All
Tap
right.
your person.
You're all bigots. I'm the only one who picked up around me.
All right, so good morning, good afternoon,
Good morning.
wherever we're at. So we tap, are you okay, are you okay? No signs of response.
Wake up.
Next thing we're going to do is what? We're going to play a little question and answer.
Call 911.
There it is,
Oh,
the cameraman's
call
on
911.
spot, right?
Cameraman.
We're going to call 911, and we're also going to get in the habit of asking for an AED, which we'll get to in a minute, but also ask for an AED. After we've done that, we're going to expose the chest. My mannequin here has on a jacket. Yours are already exposed.
Oh, my God.
Once we expose the chest, we're going to take one hand, doesn't matter, right hand or left hand, whatever you're more comfortable with, and you're going to put it in the center of the chest.
Is that where this...
Yep, that's you. You all have a nice little oval, okay? Center of the chest, heel your hand, take your other hand, lock your fingers, okay? Keeps everything kind of straight and in line. Next thing is you're going to lock out your elbows and lean over them because you're actually going to use your weight to compress. You don't want to muscle through it, but you use your weight. Now, if you can make it click, that means you're pushing hard enough. They want you to push about 2 inches on an adult, all right?
That's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of
I didn't realize
pressure,
that you had to press
right?
that hard.
So you're doing fine. So we're going to compress, make sure it comes all the way back up and back down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And we're going to try, there we go, we're going to try to do this 100 to 120 times a minute.
Oh my God.
Okay, so it's fast.
Now,
Right?
I also heard a rumor that you're supposed to do Staying Alive.
You can. That is the song that's out there. It gives you the good beat that'll put you about 100 to 120 compressions a minute.
Sing?
That's
It's a workout.
That's where I joke about it. If you can remember it, it's great because it'll keep your mind off of what's actually going on. But if you forget it, you can. If this radio thing doesn't work out, you can be a singer. I'll vouch for you here. So you're going to do these compressions until one of 4 things happens. 1, they show signs of life. Okay. 2, advanced help comes. Fire department, police department show up. 3, somebody else comes along, you're doing CPR, she comes in and says, hey, can I help out, or or number 4, you get too tired, okay? And number 4 is, as you're doing this, you're going, yeah, I didn't like you anyways, Tracy, I'm tired. Right? That's not too tired, all right? Too tired is you literally will get tired.
I'm tired already.
Exactly.
And I just did it for like 30 seconds.
It's tiring. And depending on your size and the size of the person you're doing it on will depend on how easy or hard it's going to be. Okay?
I'm surprised though, really, how hard you have to do that
It's
to
hard.
make it click.
And that's the thing is that
I would
people,
feel like I'm hurting somebody.
right, people get worried about that because they think they're going to hurt them. You're not going to hurt this person. Okay? You may feel snap, crackle, pop in between your breastbone. You have cartilage. You're breaking up that cartilage. That's a pretty good sign that you're compressing hard enough. Okay? So that's the big thing with CPR now is hands only because you don't have any physical contact with mouths, and a lot of people don't carry breathing barriers. And number 2, you're not going to hurt them, so don't be afraid to do it. The biggest difference between child and adult is that child, you can get away with 1 hand, depending on your size, the size of the child, okay? And my baby, where can I have my
Where's the baby?
Right?
Give me the baby.
Hang on 1 second. So
Chelsea's here from WRMF, everybody.
Chelsea always gets the baby.
Well, I have a baby. If you guys have a baby, let me know.
How old is your baby?
12 months old.
12 months. Yes, you're right on the cusp.
Right? Give me that.
One.
My
I'll give it to
baby is
you.
way
1
fatter
second.
than that.
1 second.
Way bigger.
All right, so for an infant and for any age, the best place to do CPR is on a hard, flat surface, which most of the time is going to be on the ground or the floor, okay? So with an infant, you put 1 finger across the nipple line, 2 fingers down, 1.5 inch compressions, okay? So an infant will be easiest physically, but hardest emotionally because it's an infant, okay? So 1 across, 2 down, 100 to 120 compressions, okay? All right, so since you have a baby and since we're all here, we are going to talk about choking real fast, all right? Do you know what you would do for your choking infant?
I've heard like 3 different things, so I want to hear
All right,
what the
so the correct one?
Yes, thank you.
What do you want to protect on baby?
Head.
Head and neck, right? So make a C, go across the jaw, right? Use gravity as your friend, point baby down. Use your knee, you know, kind of support. Take your palm of your hand, 5 back blows, right? And they're stronger than, hey, you're okay, baby. It's a good back blow, right? 5 of those. Support the head and neck, roll baby over, 1 across the nipple line, 2 down, 5 chest compressions, okay? That's conscious, all right? If it doesn't come out and they're still crying, same thing, all right? Do it until they become unconscious or it comes out. Regardless of age, regardless of, you know, infant, child, or adult, if the conscious person choking goes unconscious, you go to CPR.
And okay, so now you're tagging them. Are you okay? And if they're like, I am okay, but you don't do CPR if they can talk, right?
There's a little bit of a gray area because it's called agonal breathing where people are kind of gasping for air. That's not breathing. So now they've basically made it, if you're doing compressions on somebody and they're not making obvious signs like stop doing this or swatting you away, do compressions because you're not going to hurt them. Okay, so people, you know, it's not normal to push on somebody's chest. So everything in our brain is saying don't do this, but if they're not showing obvious signs of life, like stop doing this, push. Push, 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 okay? Make sure you call 911, make sure we're en route. Once again, you're not gonna hurt them, there is no breathing, you're not having any sort of contact, you know, mouth to mouth, you're fine, okay? And then it'll help get here quickly. And when help comes, don't just, you see somebody go around the corner and go, oh, thank goodness. Keep doing it until they tell you what's going on, right? And they may come in and take over right away. They may ask some questions, so just keep doing what you're doing. All right. The AED, these are phenomenal machines. You all have one here. It's in that red box right there. My trainer looks kind of like the one that you have.
So this is the defibrillator.
That's the defibrillator.
Okay.
That's the thing that shocks people, right? Okay. They're really self-explanatory. They're really easy to use. If you can see, it shows you a picture. Where you put those pads is where they show you in the picture, right? So you take 1 pad here and where's my mannequin?
Come on, Annie.
Come on, Annie.
Come back here.
Annie, are you okay?
Should be Manny.
Right?
Mannequin?
Annie
needs
some plastic surgery then.
We'll put 1 there. We'll put 1 there, right where the stickers show. We'll turn it on.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Okay.
Do not touch the patient.
Do what it says, right? Don't touch.
So you back up.
Yep.
Shock advised. Charging. Stay clear of patient. Deliver shock now. Press the orange button now.
Oh.
Shock delivered.
That was it?
Paused.
It's a trainer.
Begin
okay.
CPR.
All right, so then when I start CPR,
So
I'm right here, leave the pads on,
Okay.
and just start going at it. Okay, so AEDs have a 2-minute timer in them. So in 2 minutes, the AED is going to say stop. Whether you're on compression 100, compression 2, stop. Okay, if you keep doing compressions, it'll tell you stop touching them. You stop, it'll reanalyze. After it reanalyzes, if it deems it necessary for another shock, it'll shock them again. If it doesn't, it may say continue care, which just means CPR. Or if they've been shocked back to life, then you don't have to do anything. You put them on their side in a recovery position.
Is this the same thing that you see on TV where they go?
It is, yes, it is. But there's not paddles. These are just.
But like on TV, they're doing it. And they do it repeatedly, so that thing won't let you do it like a couple times.
How do they do it?
Oh,
that's TV, yeah.
Okay, so in real life, you don't need to do it that way.
No,
on the wrestling. When he has no head and
so
they
what's
brought
your
him
theory
back
on
to life.
WWF wrestling?
Well, I watch ER, and
When
they're
I'm
always
watching,
sick.
Right. Right. So no, and you know they may tense up, they may move a little bit. It's probably not going to be as dramatic as you see on TV.
Okay.
But what this does is it actually stops the heart to get it to start beating. Yeah, so if they have a shockable rhythm, this will shock them. These are phenomenal. Unfortunately, some people, we all know that we're all going to die at some point in time. If it doesn't sense a shockable rhythm, you'll just continue doing compressions.
Taps.
Okay.
Now, when you say turn them over into a recovery position, what does that mean? Like
Just roll them on their side. If you leave, let's say...
What if they flip back?
Well, at this point, they're semi-conscious, most likely.
Okay.
So you're putting them on their side, because if you leave them flat on their back, they may choke or, have issues with things going down their throat. So you just leave them on their back. Yeah. Most of the time, though, fire departments have quick response time. If you make sure you call 911, they will get here pretty quick. You may get them hooked up to this. You may not even have time to shock them once, or you may get one shock in. That's why it's important to make sure you call, because you don't want to be 2 minutes, 3 minutes into CPR and then realize, oh, I didn't call you, because you're going to
stop CPR.
So this has been 2 minutes, right? So
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Analyzes.
Stay clear of patient.
Where do we keep our AED here?
Analyzing heart rhythm.
I'm just everybody in this building know where the AED is?
It was across from my
If needed,
Yeah.
begin
I follow
CPR.
Rich on the air.
The other end of the hall, and then they're usually in a box, usually in a glass box. They're everywhere now. They're in grocery stores, movie theaters, airplanes, airports, county. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Because people get intimidated by them, but there's nothing. Just do what it says. Put the stickers where they need to go. Make sure the stickers are on bare skin. You don't want to put them on clothes of that nature. That's why you want to be bare skin when you do CPR, because you see where things go. Even something as little as buttons, if you're doing compression, it's going to hurt your hand after a time. So in a nutshell, don't be scared, don't be worried, you're not going to hurt them. Center of the chest, 100 to 100.
You don't use that on a baby, no matter what.
You cannot use an AED on an infant. You can use an AED on a child, and you can use it on an adult.
Child as in 6 and over? 8 and
Child
over?
as in, it depends. Sometimes different manufacturers have different age limits on their pads. Some have different weight limits on the pads. So we always want to familiarize ourselves with what we have, wherever we have.
Do we get to take this home? I saved them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I thought you wanted the baby. Oh, here, you wanted the baby.
Give me the, no, it's just something like so sad.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have you choke.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Okay. Has CPR changed over the years, or has it always been this classic?
It has. It has. I mean, they used to go into, certain cycles. You do so many compressions with so many breaths, and you do it this many times. And then AEDs came out, and AEDs used to do more shocks, and then they changed that. It's always being revamped, per se. And now that it's hands only, statistics show that just by doing hands only, you're still circulating blood, you're circulating oxygen, and people are having better outcomes by it. I think it's Seattle right now kind of leads the nation, and there's like a joke, if you're in Seattle laying on a park bench, somebody's going to start pounding on your chest.
Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
Everything in Seattle.
Right. And statistics in Palm Beach County are going up on bystander CPR because people aren't afraid to do it now. There's not a risk for anybody involved.
Okay, and if people want to learn how to do CPR, Jeff, tell them how they can do it.
How do they do it? You got to sign up with a local class. I hate to defer people to the internet, but there's different organizations out there that do classes.
We're already on the internet.
We are on the internet.
Yeah, we're already there.
So stay where you are. Open another tab. Don't leave this one, though, because that's where the good stuff is.
Google local CPR class.
Okay, perfect.
And then see what comes up. Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
The quietest baby I've ever
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.